From the summer of 2022, Arsenal has been one of those teams that have been interested in signing Leroy Sane, and he's one of those transfers that Arsenal fans are eagerly waiting to see whether they will happen or not. And today, there is what we call a Leroy Sane transfer burst, though there is a line of teams that are interested in signing Leroy Sane, and here we come to dissect that here onto the Rokani Media Football. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. This is the Football News Show. Smash like button, comment and share. Third video of the day. I promise you that 2 more are gonna come. There is a live stream later, and we are gonna obviously record one more to really bring you the exact news that you guys really desire to know. Cameroon and Senegal have gone ahead to join other teams that have gone ahead to qualify for the round of 16, and today Cameroon has seen itself win, plus Senegal has also gone ahead to win, and it has been really a very good win for the side of Senegal. And the big story was that Andre Onana of Manchester United was dropped by the Cameroon national team coach, that is Rigobert Song. So let's see close to 200 likes much on this video. It's only what we call the Leroy Sane talk in here. So we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and let's continue to obviously thank the Lord. And smash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe, because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And as we come to the end of this winter transfer window, I know lots of stories are really going to happen, and 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, we are left with 8 days to call it a winter transfer window, and I know something is going to develop there. Something is going to develop, and we wait to see how things are really going to pan out. Now, where should we start from? Algeria is going to play certain team, Mauritania, and the big one is Burkina Faso versus Angola, whereby whoever wins will really find himself in a position of really qualifying. But I think Burkina Faso is one of those that has an edge over Angola. But even Angola is going to be a very beautiful team. Let's start into this story brought us by Features that Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham Hotspur are showing interest in signing Leroy Sane. Now, if you've been watching this channel, Arsenal and Leroy Sane are really stories that you expect to come, but this time around, this story is going to have to come up with lots of accompaniments that really show that they have to sell this player. They have to sell this player if things remain constant. If new factors don't come into play, they'll have to sell Leroy Sane. Why do they have to sell Leroy Sane? Because his contract is running down. Looks like he's not okay with the manager, and things are not all that okay. Let me show you what has been recent here. And this is coming in through from Germany about Leroy Sane that you guys never knew. Leroy Sane reacted with frustration when Thomas Muller told him about the tactical change and his new position at the 64th minute yesterday. Thomas Tuchel was asked about it after the game. He said, "Overall, we didn't generate a lot of positive energy. We don't want to pin it on Leroy." On the 10 seconds there where he expressed his displeasure. Of course, it's part of the team, but it's not the biggest drama. I know him and know that he always needs a minute or two to digest things that he doesn't really like. Now, everyone who knows what brings what we call a manager and a player refutes, that is really something to call on. And when you see a player reacting to situations like this of tactical changes, that means he has been hiding something inside him that has not always gone ahead well with him, you know, and the manager knows it. That's why I said that he knows him on how he digests things. So in a game like one that Bayern Munich were playing, you know, and the tactical change is made, if the player is in good books with the manager, all the player will do is simple. The player will come in through and really say, all right, I'm going to be doing business as usual, as the manager is going to hate to let me know. But a disciplined player, or a player who is really fed up, just says, no, I'm not going to do that. So when you look at Bayern Munich in that game, they lost by 1-0 to Werder Bremen, and they were in their stadium, you know. So it was really very annoying that Leroy Sane never went ahead to follow the orders of the manager or the instructions of the manager when Thomas Muller came on through and told him that now the system of football is going to have to change. You are supposed to change your position. So Leroy Sane as a player wants to play as a right attacking midfielder. You get? And he's not being given that mandate. I've seen him being played on the left, sometimes through the middle, and sometimes on the right. And guess which team is going to really give him that liberty? It's Arsenal. It's Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham Hotspur. So when you bring all these factors into play, you have to really add the dots and get to know that maybe there is a situation boiling in at Bayern Munich that is going to have to cause a lot of havoc at the side of Bayern Munich, that for a man whose contract is running down in 2025, he has not gone ahead to obviously renew his contract. And this story is coming in from Platigol, one of the credible journalists I've gone ahead to see come through from the side of Bayern and Sky Sports. And this is what he had to say. No concrete talks about a new contract beyond 2025 at the moment. That is for Leroy Sane. Bayern currently has no rush to extend Leroy Sane's contract prematurely. There is also no signed offer from Bayern Munich yet. Sane plans to take time with his decision. The relationship with Sane, Bayern and Tuchel is intact. Now, Sane hasn't gone ahead to make that move to obviously renew his contract. We don't know exactly what his demands are as we people here, but we know as we come near the 30th of June, we'll get to know what exactly Sane is having in his head. But the fact is, he hasn't really renewed his contract, and there are no talks beyond 2025. Remember, if we hit the summer, he'll be left with 1 year on his contract, and that will really call for a reduction in his price. And teams like Arsenal, Liverpool should use this chance to obviously tell the player that we need you. Let's obviously go to Arsenal. I've already told you that Arsenal need a player who can offer something different from Bukayo Saka, and for me, it's Leroy Sane. Leroy Sane is a player who has gone ahead to really get approved. One will say he's a Premier League flop. To me, he wasn't a Premier League flop at Manchester City. The reason of him leaving Manchester City to go back to Germany and play for Bayern Munich was simple. He wanted to get more playing time and be a regular. But every time he stepped up at the stadium of Etihad, even away when Man City was on the road, he showed his qualities and everyone knew how good this player was. But there was a lot of competition and he couldn't obviously get in what we call a run-in of games like he's getting in at Bayern Munich. For example, he was playing in a position where one of the best right attacking midfielders in the world was playing, that is Riyad Mahrez. If you remember, the time that Leroy Sane went in at Manchester City, he found there Riyad Mahrez, and it was really hard for him to operate at full wavelength. You know, for any player to operate at full wavelength, what comes into play first is a regular time, being trusted by the manager, knowing that this manager trusts me and everything will go on as to plan. That is it. But he never got it, and that's the reason as to why he left the side of Manchester City. But when you come in at Arsenal and you are Leroy Sane, you obviously know that you are going to get a spot ahead of Bukayo Saka because of what this guy does. And when I talk about Bukayo Saka, he's a good player, but he's not an exceptional player. And the level at which Arsenal is, they need exceptional players. When I talk about exceptional players in Arsenal, I can get you a list. Zinchenko is an exceptional player. Saliba is an exceptional player. Odegaard is an exceptional player. Jesus is an exceptional player. Trossard is an exceptional player. Fabio Vieira is an exceptional player. So those are some of the exceptional players I'm going to hit to see in Arsenal. You know, they are good players, technically gifted. And if you really look at what Leroy Sane could bring to the side of Arsenal, you will all agree with me that it will be very, very, very hard for Bukayo Saka to get a run-in of games when this boy is there, because the level at which he'll take that right forward position at will be really very insane. And to eat that, he worked with Mikel Arteta at Manchester City. They've been in talks, and I'm 100% sure one of the positions that Arsenal is going to strengthen in the summer transfer window, apart from the central midfield, centre forward, and maybe a right back, or a versatile centre back, will be the right forward position where Bukayo Saka plays. They've suffered a lot in all these seasons because when Saka drops off, it looks like they have no option to play there. Even though Reece Nelson is a very good player who can really represent, Arteta looks like he's not okay with with that guy playing that side. So Leroy Sane to Arsenal, there is a boost, and we wait to see how that really happens. And to other teams like Liverpool, you all know that there is a package coming in from Saudi Arabia, and that package comes up with a lot of money. £200 million is what Al Ahly are willing to offer to Liverpool to get in Mohamed Salah. And for Liverpool, they believe that they should get in another player in the summer to see to it that he plays where Salah plays, and they might really consider selling him amidst being one of those players that is going to hate, obviously, put in lots of efforts. So Leroy Sane to Liverpool will be a very good move, and Liverpool are not only looking at Leroy Sane, but there is also Olise. Olise is one of the best players I'm going to hate to see at his age in the Premier League, but my worry with him are injuries. But Leroy Sane is not an injury-prone player. He keeps playing game in, game out, and he puts everything as desired and required. That is Leroy Sane at Liverpool. When you go to Tottenham Hotspur, they're having Kulusevski, and he's the only left player who plays onto the right attacking side of the midfield, and they would at any time want to have a player like Leroy Sane. And the performances that Ange Postecoglou is going to have to put up at that side are really very vintage. And you agree with me that Spurs is one of the best football playing teams in the league, and he has going to obviously show us that it doesn't take a lot of time to really instill your style of play into the players you're going to inherit at your club. But Leroy Sane can come in through and obviously become a very good player. And trust me, Spurs are going to be playing in Europe next season. That is it. And they will be needing very many players in different positions. And what are those very many players? It's 2 players per position to call in for that competition. Now, we wait and see who is going to really see himself take this player. Very many people are going to be, very many teams are going to be really competing for his signature. Don't be worried. Sorry, don't be surprised if teams like Newcastle come into play, teams like Manchester City getting back, teams like Manchester United coming in through for this 27-year-old Germany international. And when you look at his numbers this season, they are really very attractive. And I know a team that is going to get him will have to cough like 60 million euros to obviously get him in. In the Bundesliga, 17 games, 8 goals, 10 assists. That is really pure quality. In the Champions League, 6 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. That is Leroy Sane for you. And whoever knows how lethal this guy is and how threatening he is, Leroy Sane is one to watch to return to the Premier League. And it's gonna be a story like of Serge Gnabry. I don't know, because Serge Gnabry reached an extent when he was left with just 1 year in his contract, and we thought that maybe he was going to accept a deal outside the Bayern Munich side, and he found himself really not really going there, and he kept his promise and he renewed his contract at Bayern Munich, and they met his demands of the salary. For Leroy Sane, it's going to hinge a lot onto Thomas Tuchel days. If Thomas Tuchel loses the Bundesliga to Bayern Leverkusen, because as it looks now, as it looks on the table, it's Bayern Leverkusen, 7 points ahead of Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich have a game in hand. If they win their game in hand, that means they'll be 4 points behind Bayern Leverkusen. I mean, look at teams like Stuttgart, they're also trying to fight. Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig. So it's really going to be a very hard season for Bayern Munich because there are very many teams that can obviously stop them to win the league. If doesn't win the league, that is Thomas Tuchel, and doesn't really win the Champions League, trust me, he's going to be sacked. And his sacking might really refresh or be a source of air for Leroy Sane to obviously think twice and say, I'm going to put pen to paper because the money that's going to have to come in through has going to have to promise me a lot. So, your thoughts on Leroy Sane to Arsenal transfer boost are welcome in the comment section below. Do you think Arsenal can beat Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, onto the signature of this 27-year-old experienced player that we once thought that he's going to be one of those players to replace the likes of Lionel Messi in the world of football? Thank you very much for watching through. The African Cup of Nations is back. Mauritania is taking on Angola, and everything is really moving on up to the desired standard. This team needs to win. Algeria need to win this game of football to book their place into the round of 16. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. And we sign out for now. See you later. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. Good night. Those going to bed. Chelsea is hosting Middlesbrough at the Stamford Bridge 2. Ciao, ciao.